Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
And welcome to Series 2 of Meet at the Hotel Bar. After being tangled up in tabloid dramas, hitting the podcast charts, and unearthing some of the best kept touring stories you will ever hear, we are back again, bigger and better. Who knew that was even possible?
If you're new here, we are Freddie, JC and Huss from the band Flawes, a three-piece indie pop band from London via Huddersfield. Since we started touring and travelling the globe, we realised there are so many funny things that happen on and off stage. So many stories that never get shared with the rest of the world. They just stay in the dressing rooms and the tour buses of the bands and artists that you love.
Until now. In this podcast, we are lifting the lid on life on the road. And where better to meet up and tell those touring tales than a place every touring musician knows well, the trusty hotel bar.
In today's episode, we met up with Aston Merrygold of JLS in a hotel bar in central London. As a quarter of one of the UK's biggest ever boy bands, JLS chalked up an impressive 5 number one singles, have sold over 6 million records and won 2 Brit Awards. They've headlined London's O2 Arena a whopping 16 times and shifted more than 1.4 million live tickets during their 4-album career, all 4 of which went multi-platinum.
Today's podcast was a real rollercoaster of emotions. There were moments when we were howling with laughter and moments when we got deep, analysing what happiness and success even is.
Also, as you'll soon hear, I started off the episode with an absolute howler. Before we'd even got settled into the podcast, I embarrassingly and accidentally thanked Aston for having us. It gave me flashbacks of the time that I was introduced to Ashley from the Pussycat Dolls on a night out once, and I replied with, "Hi Josh, I'm Ashley." Yeah, that happened. Anyway, expect stories of Vegas memory loss, why JLS have a no white towel policy in their dressing room, impromptu arena power cut acapellas, and getting a life-changing phone call from the Jackson family.
Get ready, because this is one of my favourite all-time episodes. This is Aston from JLS coming up on Meet at the Hotel Bar.
Levels.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell.
We always
They're
love
at
it,
it
sound
again.
effect.
See, we
so
are-
you can tell we're in a bar.
As quiet as it seems today,
1, 2.
we are actually in a hotel bar. Yeah, there's no music. There's no music in this hotel bar. We're currently in pretty central London.
Yep.
At the Freddie, what's the name of the hotel?
This is a Radisson Blue.
Radisson Blue
Bond
Hotel,
Street.
Bond Street. And Aston has just come and joined us to say hello. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you for having
Letting
me.
us have
Thanks.
There you go.
That's still wrong.
This is your studio, right?
We came to the studio. We could well be in the studio right now. Thanks for joining us. That's what I meant to say.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.
All good.
First question, as always, what would you like to drink?
For me, I'll have a tequila.
Tequila.
Yeah,
Ooh.
tequila pineapple, actually. to
Tequila
be honest.
pineapple. Okay,
Yes.
Freddie.
Okay. Shall I go and see if
yeah,
I've got...
see if we can-
Yeah.
Should we do four tequila
Four
pineapples?
tequila pineapples. Let's do it.
I've never had a
Let's do it.
tequila pineapple.
Oh,
know.
it'll change your life.
Does it come in the pineapple?
Not yet, but that's a very good concept.
Okay,
There you go. It comes in the pineapple.
Doesn't Kim really like?
Kim loves tequila.
Yeah.
She'll be so proud of me. Shout out Kim, my
Good
wife.
job.
Freddie,
Okay, guys,
you've
they
got
had
some bad news.
no pineapple, I'm afraid. Second
Right,
choice?
okay.
Any other options that might work?
I've got a few different mixtures, but let's go for a tequila, ginger ale, and we've got like grapefruit or
Yeah, okay. I like it.
Tequila,
Fingers
ginger ale,
crossed.
and grapefruit.
I've never had this before.
3 ingredients makes a cocktail, right?
Yes.
So what's
Oh, really?
the cocktail called? This has to be like the Meet at the Hotel Bar cocktail, surely.
Oh, I like it.
All right, well, the good news is they did have ginger ale
Brilliant.
and grapefruit, so we
And
are
it
in.
literally just arrived.
There we go.
But
Cheers,
Again,
guys.
we've got to pour it ourselves.
Oh yeah, this is a bit of a theme
This
recently.
happened in the
Look
last
at this
podcast.
reverse pour. It's no visual aid.
There we go.
Now, should they
Let's
be
get
drunk
some-
through straws or not? That is the
It
connoisseur's
depends
advice.
how well you want to look after your teeth, to be honest.
That's a good point.
This is the drinking thing for me. I'm a bit like, do you drink your drinks through straws or do you go... Obviously, beers is different, but if you're ever drinking spirits, it's a bit like, oof.
Oh, is it through your teeth? Your straw is good for your teeth?
Well, none of it's good for your teeth, but it's none of
Stops discoloration, right?
I'm not responsible for any dental bills after this podcast.
I need to book the dentist, actually. I've not been in ages.
Cheers. Let's toast.
Yes, that's it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah,
There we go.
Cheers.
But be honest, guys. Be honest, because
Okay,
it's
here we
not
go.
everyone's cup of tea. I'm not gonna lie.
That's okay.
I like that,
Yeah.
actually. I'm in.
I think that's pretty inoffensive. I was expecting it to be a lot more.
You're not so sure, and it was your idea.
No, I'm looking at you, kind of going. I can't gauge
Oh,
this.
it's going to be a good night.
Do you know what this reminds me of? When we used to go, when we go to America, our record label's there. We always get whiskey and ginger ale on the flights.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
taking me straight back.
I thought you were going to say Boilermakers, where you get a pint and then a shot of whiskey on the
And then
side.
you
Good.
put the
It's a
whiskey
good mix
in
of
the
ginger
beer.
ale.
This is your upper, so forget the whiskey now.
Okay.
Tequila, your upper, and
I'm
you
in.
just keep on flying.
Yeah, we're
Do you know what
first
I mean?
class next time.
Keep on
There you
It's
go.
flying,
actually
baby.
really good. It's
good.
Yeah, it's
quite
good. Thanks
Moorish.
for
Yes.
ginger ale.
So-
Nice. So, thanks for joining us. You've literally just come straight from rehearsals.
I have, yes, that's why I'm sweating, so I apologise. No, I
That's
have
all right.
sprayed a lot of.
Yeah, I was going to say you
Aftershave.
smell
It's great.
fantastic.
Okay, good. I'm glad that's the way we're going with this. Good.
First question: what is the aftershave?
Actually, no.
How are rehearsals going? All good?
Do you know what? They're going good. Yeah, it's only day 2 of physical rehearsals, because obviously we split it up between physical and vocals. So it's day 2, and it's like everyone kind of gets in rehearsal. I suppose you have a bit of like a brain funk, like excitement of day 1, and this is great, and then day 2 you're like, that was too much yesterday. I don't know how much I can put in today, and yeah, but good. I think that's the main word for me there. It's good so far.
I love that physical, and then the singing.
Yes.
I mean,
I guess that's alien to us, right?
absolutely alien to us.
Yeah,
like
we'd
the
be,
idea
of
course, yeah.
like that whole other aspect of a performance. We just don't put too like.
I definitely agree with going too hard on day 1, because when we get in a room and being a reasonably physical drummer, I get definite sore arms on
And then
day
it comes
2.
in day 2.
But
It's like
there's no choreography involved.
Well, you say that, but it is technically still choreo, because you're still
Yeah, true.
moving
in
to the
sync,
song.
Yeah, I'm all
There we go.
freestyle, baby.
Even better. There you go. It works.
Tequila's kicking in already.
There we go.
And so, how long have you got left of rehearsals? Have you got a long stint, or
Yeah, so we got this week to kind of lock down all the movement. Then Friday's kind of the intro to vocals. So I suppose back end of Wednesday, maybe Thursday, we'll start kind of just singing as loud as possible to get the stamina
Nice.
up.
Yeah.
But proper in the vocal starts Friday. Then we've got a week of basically both. Make sure you can do both at the same time, and then we're into 3 days of production. So then it's all a bit like, you guys know, it's not the best thing in the world. There's a lot of sitting around, because obviously you have to make sure this is the crew's time more than it is kind of your time. So then it's a bit like, you've done your rehearsal, this is now their rehearsal, and you're a bit like, okay, so listen, I've been doing it long enough now that it's, you know, I've got my iPad and my phone, PlayStation in the back now. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorted for a couple of hours. I'm sweet.
yeah, nice. And you obviously going touring across the UK.
Yes.
Are there any cities that you're looking forward to in particular returning back to? Any personal favourites?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I do hate this question. I do hate that question. But to be honest and totally blunt, it's always, I'm gonna say Ireland in general. So you have Dublin's, Belfast, and then if you hit anywhere in Scotland as well, they're always
Up for it.
They're always up for it. But I think it's because I'm never there, or the band's never there. Like, you're never really going to see us just rolling around Scotland unless it's for a reason, i.e. a show or promo, whatever it is. So the nostalgia kind of thing is great, but that pandemonium that we had the first time always kind of, I don't know, it kind of festers within these countries. So it is amazing to kind of, you know, jump over the borders and just be like, yeah, we're in Scotland, and it's just the loudest shows ever, to be honest. So it's amazing.
Are there any places that you've yet to gig that you would love to gig?
Asia, anywhere in Asia, for me, just because the pandemonium and the fan bases out there that you see from other artists, I'm just like, geez, this is crazy. And then I look on my Spotify, whether it's for me or the band, like my Spotify artist or my Apple Play artist, and you're like, where do I get a lot of traction from? And it's like Indonesia the other day was like 15,000 stream lists. I was like, sorry?
Yeah.
It's like I've never been there in my life.
Yeah.
But how do I get there? How do I do? So yeah, when you're kind of getting traction in these places, just obviously, you know, like any artist, you just kind of go, I need to go out there. I want to see.
Yeah, they do like in like shopping malls and stuff, like concerts in shopping malls, and like you see like the videos of just like lining up. It looks pretty
People
insane.
always say how receptive they are and like respectful as well.
Yeah.
Like they listen, then they clap like crazy for a minute, then it's dead silent while they wait for you to perform the next one. Like I can't imagine playing to that kind of crowd, but
Yeah.
it'd be amazing.
That'd be really odd. I think I'd panic. I think if everyone was kind of sitting there, like, we've obviously all been at them gigs where it's a bit like, and I love them, I put my hands up, I can't lie, when you kind of have to impress because you're a totally new act and whoever may be headlining or whatever it is, and everyone's a bit like, they don't know any of your songs, and you have to bring you have to bring your vibe and hope that someone kind of latches onto it. That's probably what that would feel like a bit too polite. Like I do love the kind of the angst and the, you know, the pandemonium of just like screaming over everything that I'm doing. Like it's great.
So take us back to your first ever tour. I don't know if that was after X Factor and when JLS started, or if that was ahead of then.
Yeah, so the first ever tour would have been an X Factor tour, but in terms of like a JLS tour, it was literally straight after that.
So it must have been pretty insane.
Like again, I go back to that word of pandemonium because we hadn't had an album out. We hadn't had, you know, like any kind of, the album had just dropped, sorry, but it was never kind of it wasn't something to live off. Do you know what I mean? It just been dropped. Single, they'll know the single, but like within days, like they know all the words. They've already kind of worked out the dance routine. Like it was mind blowing to see people be so invested in what was going on in theatres. So we were up close and personal. So as amazing as arenas are, those theatre gigs where you're a bit like, oh no, you're here, like you can literally like
See their
touch
facial
me.
expressions.
Yeah, you're in touching distance, and it's incredible to see, especially at such a young age and the first time round, just those reactions. And yeah, I couldn't believe it, to be honest. It was a bit like the boy band stories and whatever, but like it was like genuinely true. Like that is just like, it was madness. I couldn't really comprehend what was really going on.
Were you in like splitters? You on a tour bus straight away, or?
Yeah, so it's tour bus straight away, which was amazing. I think everyone kind of, you know, found their role on the tour very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, you know, I say that with a smile because.
How old are you at the time?
21.
Okay.
20. Maybe 21. I think. Yeah, and we were, you know, we'd just done the kind of fly to LA and do your music video and all this stuff. You're kind of like, what? Really? Like, you know, and then you're in, I don't know, you're in this bar in the middle of West Hollywood, and then it's a bit like you see English people and they're just like, oh my God, hey, how you doing? And you're like, this is surreal, you're the other side of the world. And then, you know, when you do find kind of peace on the tour bus, I was a bit like, nah, I'll like, when are we going out tonight?
Yeah.
What's the set? There was no like, you
want that chaos.
I want I want the chaos all the time. Whereas some of the other boys are like, I'm just gonna get an early night, like, chill, like I'm tired, a long day of travel. I'm like, nah, we're New City, let's go out now. We haven't technically got work until 8:30 tomorrow night. Like, we can sleep all day, we can do whatever. So
it's good to have that energy though on the road as well. Like, I like that.
Yeah, I think it's needed.
Yeah,
because not everyone gets to go on the road, and it doesn't last forever.
No.
So you do need them moments and them memories. And as I said, I hold my hands up. I'll be the most annoying little brother out of all of us, and just be like, let's go, let's do it, because I want the fun. Do you know what I mean? I want to sleep. Like I'll sleep after this. So I'll take
and ultimately,
a week off.
those are those stories that you do remember. Those nights that you kind of dragged so and so out, or
there you go.
Yeah, we share some of those too, I guess. Some of those.
You almost want to go too far so that you can then slow it down the line, but know you've experienced those crazy times. Do you know what I mean? Well, has you been too good from the start?
Yeah, well, being young, that's
like,
the whole
what
point,
if?
right?
Yeah.
It's a bit like, myself and all the boys were all married now, we've got kids and whatever else, and it's a bit like I'm not going to stay out until 6 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, there's always that possibility that it could happen because it's been done many times before, and if the night goes as good as
if the tequilas are flowing,
there you go.
Exactly.
So you guys reformed in 2020. And how has touring changed from then to now?
I would say that, to be honest, it's kind of not more intense. Intense is not the word. It's got more exciting because everyone being locked away in their houses, confined, for all of us getting what we loved taken away from us and kind of going, I can't kind of, go and do shows and all that kind of stuff. What do I do now? I think everybody had it's almost this pent up show frustration, like they wanted to go see a show or do a show or whatever it may be. So after lockdown ended and we were like, I want to say, well, definitely one of the first, if not the first pop tour to go back into arenas, like the euphoric, that's probably the best word for it, because I'd never, as I said, the first time round it was amazing. I couldn't believe it, but this time I was like, this is louder than it was at the start, because as I said, people have got this pent up frustration of just being at home and we're free again and we can celebrate.
Realising what they've missed. What they've been.
It's like they're fans and that's one level of appreciation, but then they've also got, oh my God, I'm out again. I'm rubbing shoulders with someone else.
Yeah, and you see the messages online kind of going, oh my God, I've had the best night. This was my first night out since before lockdown. You're going, Jesus, like... wow, like that, for them they're just kind of like, I met some of new friends and I've got some of the best memories, and you're going, gee, like that's going to be a part of your life forever. Do you know what I mean? In 20 years time, when everyone's kids are kind of looking back going, that didn't happen, you're going, well, it really did, and we sat in our houses for however long, and we got through it and came out the other side. These people are going to be like, this was the first time that I went out again, this is the first song that I listened to live and whatever else. So it was just like an unreal experience for a show.
And are you guys on the same bus when you tour, or are you separate buses or split vans, or? No,
same bus.
Same bus.
Same bus. As hard as it may be with like families now and all that, it's a bit like, not that we take it in turns ever, but someone's family comes on the road. It's never kind of the same time as such, but it's a bit like it's not just four of us anymore. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, with me, it's a bit like my wife comes and my two kids come now. That's just part of me. Like that's what you get when I come, and same with the other boys. That's what kind of comes along with it. So backstage is a lot more manic. That's probably changed the most, but everything else is the same. Do you know what I mean? It's just we need more rooms backstage
and a creche.
Basically there's full soft play backstage.
Oh really?
Yeah, we've had that, definitely.
I love that. So we in Flawes, we love a travel day story. What is the best travel day or day off on tour? What's the most memorable thing or day that comes to mind of a travel day?
When you said that, I've got two. I've kind of got two, and I go, one was a travel day, but it was so long, and you'll know this by state-wise. Like, we travelled through like 3 states in like one day because we had to get right the way across, and we did this amazing Six Flags tour, and it actually all happened on the same trip. But the first one was the first day, the bus collecting us, and it was amazing, and it was a bit like, I can't wait for the shows to kind of kick off in a few days, but we got a couple of days travelling, like, let's enjoy it. And we basically stopped off, like it was dark, I couldn't tell you what time it was, maybe let's say like post 10 o'clock, and you're going through I want to say Texas or Austin, wherever it may have been, and being 4 black guys walking around Texas and going into this gas station, there was an old guy sitting on a rocker outside, and we was like, this is like a movie. Like, this is like, oh, this
spitting tobacco in a bucket.
Yeah, all of it. And we was like, this is hilarious. Like, this is like, this is America. Wow. Guy sitting there, and it was me and I'm sure it was Marvin. Walked into this gas station, was like, we just need some snacks. Like, jet lag is killing us. Like, whatever. And I just remember walking past this guy and seeing the biggest shotgun I've ever seen in my life.
Oh shit!
Yeah, wow. And I was like, oh shit, okay, cool, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Like, we're good. We just walk in, and then you've got the cashier there, and she's just like, hey, you ain't from around here, are you? And we was a bit like, no, not at all. Like, where's the crisps? Like, I mean, like chips and stuff. And she was just like, where are you from? Like, the accent was like, England. From England, just on tour, just trying to get some snacks. Big guys come in, like from outside, and you're a bit like, oh, that literally 3 or 4 seconds, and it's a bit like, what's he doing? He's anyway walked straight past us. He's gone to the bathroom or whatever. But I don't know why.
Yeah. Just
having these heart palpitations again. This doesn't feel right at all, and it was a bit like we, like. As quick as possible, got straight back on the bus and was like, that was just weird, a weird experience. And we was a bit like, yeah, I just remember it literally like it was this morning. I was like, geez, that was really,
yeah. The gun thing is so crazy out there. I remember doing, used to do like session stuff and being on tour again in Texas, which went over our heads, which you obviously you're allowed to carry, carry a gun, and we were in the venue, and we were watching. It was spot in Bastille, and we were watching Bastille, and I think before they went on stage, a microphone cable was like unplugged, so it made that sort of like big pop kind of noise.
Oh no, don't.
And the whole audience just went like you could see like just everyone's like
the fear.
Like there was a visible sort of like reaction to the pop of the microphone, and it went over our heads. We were like, what's everyone? Oh my god! Like, and it was literally that, it was eerie and horrible, and
it's so alien to us. We were in an Uber in LA, and Uber driver, I was sat in the front. She was like, "Open the glove box." So I opened the glove box, and I was playing around. She was driving like a big 4x4 with like spinner rims on it, and we were, I don't know, blasting the tune. She was like, open the glove box.
Why did she do that?
I don't know. And there was a handgun in there. I don't know what kind of gun it was, a Smith & Wesson. But it was just there. She was like, do you want to hold it? I was like, no.
Absolutely
not.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to close the glove box and I'm going to lock it.
Yeah. Can I incriminate you? Basically is what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm not touching your gun.
One of your prints on my gun.
What you've done.
Yeah, nah.
You said you had a second travel day
story, which is a nice story.
Okay, good.
Well, I say a nice story. It's a more
less gun related.
Definitely less gun related. This was our first ever time in Vegas, and it was literally a flyby 24-hour. One of the best days and nights for a night out I've ever had. It was like we pulled up straight into, I want to say, rehab. Not literally rehab, but rehab pool party. Rehab pool party at the Hard Rock. And it was one of them things where it was a bit like everyone was kind of walking past in the hotel and we're going, what is going on? They're like, brunch pool party kind of vibe. It was like, great. What time we got this gig tonight? It was like 10:30, but it's not a long one. It's cool. All that promo gig stuff. We was like, great. All over that. The American label at the time were very much like, guys, come on, we're gonna have a great day, and they were just so excited. Let's go out, let's eat, let's do everything basically but work.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing with them. And so we pulled into the hotel. It was amazing. It was a bit like, right, we're going to go gamble for a little while. And they were just like, nah, we're going straight to the pool party. We literally had these, not pictures, but like a
bucket.
Not even a bucket. It was definitely the size of a bucket. But like if you're at like a theme park or whatever, and you've got the slushy,
like the yard drinks.
There you go, exactly, like the yard drinks, right? And it was one of the strongest drinks I've ever had in my life. Like just there at this pool party, and we're going, we've literally been here 10 minutes. Like we've been in Vegas. This is Vegas, right? I know, hours go by. We're having a great time. We're smashed. Go back to the hotel, and we're thinking, oh my god, we've got a gig. Like soon. Everyone's trying to get ready, and we're just going, how do we do this? Like really chilled, intimate venue. Like nothing like over here that we'd be doing. It was just totally different. And we got there, smashed through this gig. This was amazing, and almost like I don't want to say got back to the hotel later that night and just like it was literally and wake up, but there's kind of no recollection of leaving I remember getting there, and it was a bit like this big open, it's almost like a saddle ranch type of vibe with a stage on it, and it was just like packed out with like musos, and it was really like quite cool. but post gig, no idea.
Nothing.
Like as in, no idea. Literally just remember waking
Woke
up in
up
my
on a
bed and
roof.
going, no, I luckily woke up in my hotel room. It was
With a
amazing.
tiger.
But I was a
With
bit
tiger.
like, what's
Mike
going
Tyson
on?
was there.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Very hangover vibes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Last time I went to Vegas, my mate, we basically missed our flight home.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, he ended up in hospital, and we had to get move our flight to like the next day, because I was like the only one of like all the lads that didn't have like a 9-to-5 job that I could, I was like, it's not like I have to be in work tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I was like,
that's not how we run this band.
I was like, I can, I'll take one for the team here, guys. Like, I'll stay back with Teddy. And I was getting all these messages from like all the wives of all my mates being like, oh, you're such a good guy, staying back. Teddy's such a good friend, and I'm literally being like, staying in Vegas for an extra day. like, I was like, no worries. I was like, someone's got to do it. You know,
you spun that very well. I'm like, okay.
You owe me.
Yeah, hit it.
So we are currently compiling an ultimate rider. So we're basically getting tips and suggestions from our guests and ideas, maybe things that you have on yours. Anything that's out of the ordinary or that you would say is a good thing to have.
Out of the ordinary, and everyone always says, oh, it's really bougie. Like, why do you? I'm like, no white towels.
No white towels.
No white towels.
Okay.
I've not heard that before.
With a bad experience though, because we did. I can't remember where the gig was. Great venue, unreal, but they had a whole section of the show where it was UV lights, and there was a white towel, like just mop up whatever. And by the by, of course there was when I was younger. I just had no shirt on ever. Wiped my face. Everything, like, it's like, yeah, sweaty towel, chucked it out, and the live camera pans to me, and it's a bit like just white fluff in the UV light everywhere, and I'm just like, oh my god,
it was like a brand new towel.
It was
like
fresh,
a brand new towel. I'm just like, from then I was like, no more white towels, because UV light and fluff, it's not a good look at all. Like,
That is good advice.
I thought that was going somewhere very different.
I know,
the story.
I thought that was going somewhere different as well.
It turned out the towel was not new.
Being used by the venue rep.
Oh no, don't. But yeah, there's no kind of, I say special reason, but that is kind of the reason. It's just like, yeah, I don't ever want to get caught out like that again. And some venues are like, what? I'm not going to explain it. Just please, no white towels, please. But yeah, that's probably the weirdest one, maybe.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely the essential for me is, as I've got older, it was always kind of like, oh, we want like a rum or whatever. I'm like, no, I live with my tequila now. I'm an avid drinker. I love it. So I'm like, I just need.
This is going down really well.
It's absolutely
Tasty.
beautiful, by the way.
Good.
Yeah.
It's
I'm on board.
It's, I mean, the
Big
fact
night,
that you've
yeah.
tried it with this, I'm already like, okay, great, because with pineapple juice,
Pineapple's even
it's
more.
easier. It's just easier to drink.
I would say
with
this
the
is really
pineapple.
easy. Like, I would. There's nothing.
Just imagine that, but easier.
Inoffensive. And,
There you go.
That's great. I'm
Yeah.
involved.
Good.
So the beauty of live gigs is that not everything always goes to plan. What is the worst thing to happen to you or the band on stage?
Touch wood. I'm knocking on wood for now.
I
But
think that's veneer, by the way.
it's, okay, good. Well, we'll do that then, just in case. To me personally, nothing. With the band, it's very much like, as you know, there's a lot of wires going on. There's just a lot of shit going on for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So something's bound to go wrong. In Cardiff, again years ago, loud, incredible crowd. Everything's great. Show's going amazing. Everyone sounds really sweet. Vocals are great. And then we have a full power cut. Like the whole arena is dark. And I don't know how this is happening, but you can literally see sound desk light is the little, I don't know, whatever it is, like the little desk light or whatever he's got over the top. You can see that light, and then one of our security guys basically comes over with his torch, and the mics are still working, and we're just like, hello, yeah, cool, yeah. So mics are working, but tracks aren't working. So we were like, okay, Cardiff, don't worry. And everyone's then just kind of like, like thinking it's part of the show. Obviously for us, we're just going, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, where do we go?
Moonwalk.
So then I literally like scuttle off stage. But our security guy has obviously shined his torch to kind of lead us off the stage. I was like, nah, fuck that. And I was like, fellas, listen, just as a little impromptu, how about we just do a little acappella, like first time round, and we've got those for days. Like that's how we always started. It was always an acappella thing. There was never need for a track somewhere because we couldn't afford the studio time, whatever else. So we was a bit like, we're just gonna learn. So we had these in the bank, like just easy. And then we basically end up doing a bit of an acappella set for honestly a good 10-15 minutes, and then the power literally boom comes back on, and then it's like mid-track, the track comes back on, and everyone's like, oh yeah, what? Like, just nobody knew a thing until now. But no,
Exclusive. There we go.
Yeah, nobody kind of really clocked on, and it was just one of those special moments where we just went, what do you do? Do you know what? Let's just do it, because these people have paid their hard-earned money to come see us. This is what we used to do. This is a good opportunity for us to see if we still got it.
Did that become part of the set?
No, it didn't. No.
I love a good catastrophe blend. That's sick. I had a similar thing. I used to play drums for an artist called Mahalia, and we played this festival. It was a full, like, big tent outdoors. A few thousand people in there, and there was a thunderstorm, so they had to cut our set short halfway through and walk us off stage. And I said the same thing to the band. I was like, why don't we just go out in the crowd and play acoustic? And we walked out into the middle where the big centre post is.
Love that.
And just sat with everyone's phone torches on and played an acoustic set.
Brilliant.
And then after, when the thunderstorm had passed, we went back on and did another set. I was absolutely knackered.
Double set.
I was like,
hope you got double pay for that. I'm like, hold on, what's going on?
I get double.
I'm going to have to invoice for that, actually. Mahalia, if you're listening, coming for you.
So, obviously, you said that's the worst thing to happen. On the flip side, what would you consider to be either the best thing that's happened on stage, or what would you consider to be your career highlight? Like, if we were in a pub and if I was to ask you, like, what's the coolest thing you've done, what would you...
Career highlight?
Yeah.
Let's say band-wise, the career highlight was definitely getting a call from the Jackson family themselves. This is after Michael Jackson had passed, and they were doing a whole memorial concert.
Oh yeah.
Literally a call and a conference call with all the brothers. It was like, we've seen you guys, we love you guys, that we would love to do some songs with you at the concert. And we were like, like just losing our minds. Yeah, like this is, for me, like Michael Jackson's artistry is by far the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. So, you know, from him starting at basically like a toddler all the way up to, you know, from passing, I was a bit like, this is the biggest opportunity ever for all of us to, you know, kind of live a dream almost. And kind of that bucket, you know, everyone's got that bucket list of like, who would you perform with if you could, dead or alive, and whatever. And it's a bit like, you know, be that. But so we had this phone call, and they were like, we would love you to perform with us, these two songs. We was like, yep, cool, we're in. Like, you ain't got to say no more. It's a done deal. In rehearsal, we're going harder than ever. Like, we just like, we can't not fulfill this and do it to its like the biggest.
It's like a world stage, isn't it? Everyone's watching.
Like the artists that were playing at the time, it was a bit like, you know, Neo was having some of his biggest hits at the time, and he's like doing a whole Jackson thing, and then Christina Aguilera and whatever else, and you're a bit like, jeez, we're on the stage with the family. Do you know what I mean? And it's a bit like, okay, this is going to be seen by everybody. This is the moment. But within that, the personal biggest, I'd say even achievement, was we were rehearsing at LH2 in Acton, and we were going through it, The Way You Make Me Feel, like just loving it and whatever else. And the family we didn't even notice, they had walked in and they were watching. And I was giving full mic. I was like, yes, I love this, like I'm in. And the brothers come up and they were like, man, you did that bit just like Michael, man. You sound like Michael. I was like, even now, I'm like, just that moment for me was by far the most incredible feeling I've ever had, and probably biggest compliment, because I'm like, thank you, but no way. Like, I thank you very much, but there's no way I did it. Like that's a pedestal for me. So when we actually did the show, my wife actually got the most incredible canvas made of, I think it's me and Jackie, and he's literally like pointing at each other like mid-song, and it's just like candid moments just for life. Like I can, in years to come, like my grandkids, whatever, they're going to see this, and I'm just like, Jesus, like I've,
That's huge.
like I've done that. Like there's not many people over however many generations that can say that they've performed with.
That's like ultimate validation, isn't it? To have, it's one thing having someone say, "Oh, great set, you sounded great," but when it's from them, that's like
exactly. It's the personal thing of just going.
Yeah.
And it's lovely having, like, even for fans, you can build fans over years, and you can have millions and millions of views and streams and whatever else. But for me, I was like, this is my childhood, and to get a validation from, you can't even call them your peers, like, as I said, like the legends you look up to get a validation, you was like, nah, this is too good to be kind of true. Do you know what I mean? So that's by far, like, there's nothing that really even comes close to that for
That's
me.
crazy. I wasn't expecting that.
Epic.
Like, yeah, that's cool. I saw online that I saw some sort of like a thing that was like, you've headlined at the O2 like 16 times or something. I was like, I'm sure that's got to be it, but like,
It's never ending. I think something like that. It sounds really, I actually don't know. Like, we're up there as one of the most ever.
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
which is amazing. The likes of Take That and whoever else, it's a bit like, that lives on in the hallway.
Yeah.
Like, you have artists and bands that go through that hallway on collective gigs and maybe their first gig at the O2 and whatever else, and we're like, we've done this multiple times, and you just kind of go, how the fuck have we done? Like, gee, like, there's standing gigs in there, whatever, it reaches up to 20,000 people, and you're like, gee, like, that's seeing that many people in a room it's nuts. Like, and singing your songs, you just, like, you don't really, until it's done, because obviously when you're in, it's like when you're in performance mode, you're like, I'm fucking killing this, like, I'm going for it. But after it, if you really sit back and just go, hold on, 20,000 people in one room, like, going for it, like, the whole way, it just doesn't make sense. But there you go.
Yeah, no, I love that.
So back to, I guess, advice. Do you have a touring top tip, or anything you couldn't live without, or maybe advice to musicians that are just starting? Anything you suggest?
Do you know what's hard now? It's the landscape is so different, because it's almost like the advice that I would give is when I was starting. It's almost like it's not relevant anymore because when I started out. But what I'm doing now is watching a lot of new artists myself and going, oh, they're literally, when I say direct to consumer, and some, like, they're giving everything, and they're letting people that do part with their well hard earned money, they're letting them choose. They're letting them choose the singles. They're letting them choose the artwork. They're letting them choose. It could be the styling, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's now kind of so close to the consumer and the fan that, not that my advice isn't relevant, but it's a bit like, if you have any kind of following, it would probably be to stop looking at the people that aren't following you and work out how to get more and look after the ones that you do have. 1,000 people on Instagram. As I said, 20,000. Like, put 1,000 people in a room. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, regardless if they're dotted around the planet, fine. But 1,000 people standing in front of you is a lot of people. Like, double that up. That's 2,000 ears. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like
I'm going to use that. How many people,
2,000
came
ears.
to the gig? Well, there was 300 people, but there was 600 ears.
Use it. It's fine. You take it. But it is that. It's a bit like, when you really break it down, like, just keep going, because you have, like, look after the core fan base, like the core followers, the core, like, and I get, we all want that O2, that Wembley Stadium, that Madison Square Garden. We all want that. Of course, that's what we strive for as artists and musicians. But as I said, you put 500 people, you put 1,000 people in a room, let alone listening to your stuff. Like, just put them out on the street like there, and you kind of go, geez, that's a lot of people. Like, don't ever discount yourself for, you know, not reaching the millions and billions like, you know, Justin Bieber's of the world and whatever, when the internet first was really spiraling towards YouTube. Like, that's the start of that. So it's a bit like, just keep rolling with what you're doing. Yeah.
We always talk about that in terms of like defining success, because like you said, even if you've got 1,000 fans, you should be proud of that, and you should be able to, I don't know, you could play a sold out show to 200 people, and it's easy to think, oh, but I want to be selling out 500, but it's so important to focus on what you are doing in the now, and celebrating that, not just always
so
like,
easy.
What do I want? What haven't I got? Rather than what have I got?
But that's continuous. That goes on. You speak to Ed Sheeran, who's selling out how many stadiums? He's wanting double that.
I was going to say, actually, do you feel like at the level that you guys are at and you're at, do you feel like you've kind of settled those cravings for more? Do you feel like
we're getting deep. We're getting deep here.
I know.
We don't usually get this deep. This is a different level of a podcast.
So I have this conversation, I can't even count how many times a year, with my wife. Do you still want to do this? Does it make you happy? Like, what makes me happiest in the world is literally going home and seeing her, seeing my kids. And I'm like, by far, my kids will be my biggest achievement ever in life. But I'm lucky enough to call a hobby, and technically something I fell into, my job. So it's not like, even like, you know, when you're on the upwards incline of the start of your career, and it's, you know, for us it was great. We got on at the time. We were very lucky because we got on the biggest talent show in the country at the right time. Like, we were there, and it just kind of fully propelled us into the world that we wanted. But now, like, of course, I'm never going to turn down playing Wembley Stadium, because I love performing. Like, for me now, we can go out and do jam on the street, because I love performing. So 2-3 people could come past and be like, "Ooh, yeah, I feel that." Or it could be 50,000 people. For me, your feeling now doesn't dictate how happy I can be when I'm on stage. And I don't mean that in any disrespectful way to a fan. I mean that as in, for me to walk from the back of the curtain onto the stage, I need to be fully happy and need to be content, and I need to love this. I don't want to call it an industry. I need to love this art again, because it got so industry focused and so business orientated that it was a bit like, I sing and I'm doing 95% of life not singing. Like, what is this? This industry is crazy. Like, everything else revolves around the music, surely. No, like, nothing technically does until the very last second.
Exclusive, civ.
I mean, I think
exactly. Let's get deep now. I'm like, it is. It's there, because I know you know what I mean, because you'll be in the studio and you write the most amazing song. People may never hear it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me, because you just go, you might have made the most incredible piece of art ever, and it's your favourite song that you listen to every day in your car, every day at home when you wake up, whatever it may be, or you play it to family, friends, or whatever, and it's their favourite song, but it may never see the light of day. But for me now, I'm going, I'm fulfilled with that. I'm good, man. Yeah. I've got that out of my system.
It doesn't take away from the song. It's still a great song.
Never.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because it isn't heard by X amount of people, or I haven't released it, or it's not, you know, it hasn't been validated by my peers or the charts or whatever. I'm like, I'm good, man. Like, I've created this out of absolute, like, we've all walked into a room and you just make this song out of nothing, and it's the most incredible thing, that if you understand that as an artist, then you're winning. Just be happy, man. Jeez.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. That's good. That, and again, we are deep. Into a deeper section. This is my personal favourite section of the podcast, and we're just going to all take a sip of tequila before we ask this.
I love that. There we go.
So, welcome to the beef section. Ooh. Now, this is an open forum. This is your safe space where you're allowed to...
There are no mics.
There are no mics.
It's not being recorded. It's your opportunity to air any beef that you've had in the industry, out of the industry, with artists.
You don't have to say names.
But we'll find out. I'm joking.
There we go. We had like the Kooks, who had a lot of beef with pretty much everyone, and then we had Razorlight, who were again they
Quite
had a lot of
beefy.
beef with.
Quite a lot of tabloid beef as well, which obviously I'm basically the voice of the tabloid stirring the pot.
Or you can just pass, honestly.
No. Like, I promise you now. I don't know what it is, but we've never really had beef. There was something one time that I think it might have been James Morrison said something in an interview and it spun. This is the only thing that comes to mind. There's literally no beef, but he may have said something in an interview and it was fully spun into. Basically, I think JLS is shit. That something like that. We saw him at we got heard of it. I was a bit like, I'm a fan of your songs. Like your voice is like creme. Like it is unreal. That obviously puts a bad taste in your mouth, right? And you're a bit like, what? Anyway, we saw him backstage. Guys, we didn't. Like, none of that was said. You know what it's like, and we was a bit like, cool. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Tabloids are tabloids. It is what it is. But that's the only thing I think I ever was close. No, it's not even beef. It was a bit like that's just tabloid bullshit. That's very much like. Again, it didn't even really say what he said. He was a bit like, how can you even? Make something out of making something out of nothing.
So JLS are beefless, everyone.
Vegetarian. I know exactly. We're vegetarian, man. Jeez.
It's the way to be. It's the way to be.
It is.
We've made it onto the last section of the podcast. We're nearly at the finish line. This is it's the quickfire round. So basically, when we say, let's change it up. If we say, we always go to dogs and cats, but I'm not going to do that today.
If we say unicycle, you say.
Fall off.
There you go.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's literally the first thing that comes to your head. You can you can use one word answer to what you know, or you can elongate and tell us a lovely little anecdote. It's totally up to you. Or you can just leave it as like one word and then we're good.
Just so the listeners are aware, I can ride a unicycle. Just so you know. So
when we say unicycle,
you say huss.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, so number one, when we say X Factor.
Great times.
Great times.
Yeah, and I said it with a smile on my face. Great times.
There we go. Sometimes we wish that it was a visual podcast to see those moments.
Yeah. I feel as if you might have a similar answer to the next question. When I say JLS condoms.
Well, I've got 2 kids, so I can't say great.
Apologies.
Do you know what? Because it never gets charity.
Nice.
Yeah, because it was all proceeds to charity and all it. Like it again, fun. It was all fun, of course. And it made a stir, and it made a generational stir, which is great. Like people remember those moments. And it did what, you know, technically it does. Yeah, it does what it saes on the tin. But they
were in tins.
Maybe it won't last longer. No, yeah, we did what we set out to do.
As I'm sure the users did.
Exactly.
All right, number 3. When we say Rich Sinclair, you say.
Full disclosure: this is a mutual friend.
This is a mutual friend. Exactly. I'm gonna say timid.
Timid.
Yeah.
I feel like he's anything but.
Nah. Because
deep down, if you peel those layers
when you
back,
get the layers,
yeah?
because even with Rich, I'm like, we've done some amazing shows, especially even over the last year. And what's great is in rehearsal, he's so by the book and like, I'm playing this part and and whatever else. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, stand, like, get to the front and like go in. This is the time. And he's like, oh really? Okay, like, a little bit. By the last show, like he's in front of me, and he is fully like
playing with his teeth.
Yeah, exactly, all of it. I'm like, but it's that starting point with Rich. I'm like, this is interesting. I'm like, you're not as confident as you make out, Rich. I'm like, I got you here. Right,
nice.
There you go.
Like
so
that. Dish in the dirt. I like it.
It's a
We
bit of
want
a
to
different
see
one.
knee slides from Rich next time. That's what we want.
Rich,
Exactly.
if you're listening, we want to see it. We want to see it.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, when we say Strictly Come Dancing, you say.
Go back to the beef question. Should we go back to No.
There is a pass button. You can press the
No,
pass
I'm not passing at all. No way. Nah. Because again, I'm like, even I watched it back and I was like, nah, definitely gone too soon. I fully enjoyed that show. But then, like, the silver lining for me was my wife was pregnant with our first child. So I got to kind of spend the last month before Christmas
Yeah.
and Just Us, and we had that night. Like, there's always a silver lining to everything. As much as I was enjoying my job at the time and learning new things, and it was a great experience. I definitely, I had the best kind of last moments as just a two. So it was, there's definitely say bittersweet, but it was definitely more sweet kind of.
Okay.
Moments.
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
When we say Arishe, Marvin, and JB,
I say, shit, here we go again. That's brothers, man. That's Jesus. It's been 2023, 2006. Let's call it 2007. It's a long time to know people.
yeah.
And but also choose to know people. Do you know what I mean? Yes, we're in a band, is what it is, but that's a long time.
And experience what you've experienced with those people. That's special.
Yeah,
you know?
They're the only ones that know how I was feeling at a
Exactly.
certain time at this pinpoint in the world. And yeah, we've experienced a lot, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to end on a deep one. When we say Aston Merrygold, you say...
The greatest
The Jackson brothers
MJ's
said.
prodigy.
they did say. Let's say right now I'm just really, really fucking happy, man. Yeah,
That's a great answer.
Just
I love that.
like with everything, like life is like it's mad, and I don't want to you get too deep about it, but it's like my kids wake up every day and they have no care in the world. And I'm like, Jesus, that was all of us at one time. You just wake up and you, even now he's like, my oldest, am I going to school today? Yep, cool. Uniform on, in the car. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do this. I'm like, okay, cool, sweet, great. Get back in the car. I had the best day. I ran up this, and I'm like, this is it. I know that we all have to grow up and we do whatever, but I'm like, Jesus, like, yeah, that's where I want to be again. I want to be in that headspace of just fuck, let me wake up and just see what my day is gonna throw at me and have the best time. Like that's literally all. That's all they do, my kids. So I'm just I'm trying, as obviously not to try and be a 5-year-old, but just trying to not take life as seriously, because really and truly all the stuff that we do, like if you go tomorrow, shit carries on. I don't really have time to worry about all that rubbish of you need to reply to. I'm reading a story with my kids. I just wait. Like I'm got.
Yeah.
You get it in the morning. Do you know what I mean? We've got a deadline. Okay. You've got a deadline. If it's not right, I'm writing a song. If it's not right, it's not right. What do you want me to do? Do you know what I mean? People get over it. It's a bit like, I'm so far past all the adult bullshit now. I'm like, no, I can't. So
Yeah, I mean, what an end! Like,
cheers to that. That's wicked. Yeah,
some deep, like,
Some
meaningful conversations here. Who knew that we could do that? We could go deep.
I believe it's the tequila.
I believe it's which is literally on time, almost as if it was planned.
Should we do a team schlurp?
A team.
Indeed, yeah. It's done.
Aston, thanks so much for joining us.
No, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
It's been great. Thank you so much, and have
Thank
an
you
amazing.
for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Indeed.
Fuck, man.
A huge thanks to Aston for being part of the podcast, and to the Radisson Blu Edwardian Bond Street Hotel Bar for putting up with us. It was possibly the quietest hotel bar we've ever recorded in. No music, no people, and most certainly the most expensive bar tab we've ever had. £80 those tequila cocktails cost us.
We couldn't do this podcast without you guys listening, so a huge thanks to you for being part of the Flawes family. If you do like what you hear, then let us know. There's nothing better than getting a little DM or a message saying how much you enjoyed a certain story, or how our sultry tones help bring to life an otherwise long and boring morning commute for you.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe anywhere and everywhere you can. It's all about that algorithm. You can find us most places at Meet at the Hotel Bar, or meetatthehotelbar.com. It really does make so much difference for us, an independent podcast trying to climb those big bad podcast charts.
Join us next time for our penultimate episode of the season, as we'll be chatting to alt-rock legends Young the Giant. You can expect stories of jamming with the likes of Adele, James Blake and Metronomy, sharing a tour bus with 50 crickets, and how to play guitar after you've been stung on the hand by a bee. Only on